Yeah, there's so many different sort of aspects of ourselves that we can look at through all of this sort of thinking, even just thinking that there is something sort of different and out there. So I guess what we'll try and do is we'll try and explain how we can actively do that in our lives. I guess Greg's a good example because you do this a lot. Yeah. What's a good process to say, I want to go and experience this?
Like with astral travel?
With astral travel, I want to go there. Can I just go, I want to go there and then I can get there? Or do I need to be some place of an understanding before I can even sort of try?
You'll get somewhere there. If you have that intention and that motivation and you're kind of really excited.
So I can just manifest it, or does it
through exercise? If you're doing meditation, what I say to people is, because they say, "Oh, can I do it?" I found that everybody who's wanted to do it has had the feeling, like even to feel their legs and arms consciously rise from their body. So the whole aim with what I do is for people to have a conscious out-of-body experience, to consciously exit their body, to go from waking consciousness to feeling that they've left the body. And that can be done. It's actually not that hard. There's techniques that if we were taught them in school, like one really good one, you relax your body and your mind. You imagine yourself maybe 6 feet or 2 meters out of your body, looking down at yourself.
But do you have to feel it?
No, in the beginning, imagine that you feel it. So there's no distinction. In the beginning, you just imagine it. But then there's very good exercises, for instance, to stay awake. So for your body to fall asleep, but your mind to stay awake. So what I used to do is I'd lie there often for about an hour and a half because I wanted to control this thing that was happening to me because I was very confused with what was happening in the beginning. So I found a way of, I'd lie there to relax my body and mind. You have to be on your back. You have to be not crossing arms or legs. For some reason, crossing the arms means don't take me. I don't want to go.
Well, that's kind of funny how, like, when people are very reserved in any sort of situation, you cross your arms and it's just their body's going, well, I'm just protecting myself.
And it goes way back to the Egyptian mummy thing too. They had the cross. They had the cross thing too. Right. So it does go back. And I've found that what happens generally is when people are falling asleep, they generally fracture into other characters and they go into dream states. So the whole idea is to stay on the brink of being conscious and falling asleep.
So it's to catch that moment before you slip over.
And keep on coming back from it. Okay. And I found that one way was to lie there and to focus internally with my eyeballs onto my third eye. So I'd raise my eyeballs slightly, looking inwardly at what was the inside of my third eye. Because it was slightly uncomfortable, it stopped me from falling asleep. So I'd be just lying there like that. And then after about an hour and a half, the vibrations would come. So you feel vibrations. In the beginning, it's very full on. It's like you're shaking, like the whole room shaking. And then especially your heart is really beating. It's your astral heart, because the astral is driven by the heart. The fourth chakra is the astral chakra. And that your heart goes absolutely mental. And people say, oh, you have a heart attack.
Do you feel like you're going to die?
What happens is this. When I've come back from that straight away, my physical heart is fine. So it's the astral heart. It's your heart chakra that is beating crazily, not your physical heart. You will not. If your physical heart's beating too much, you'll wake up. So once again, there's danger that's kind of put out there, like, this is too dangerous. And
it's just because you're not understanding it.
That's right.
Yeah. Okay.
And then if you do that long enough, you can be taken out. But once again, just the intention of these simple exercises to visualize being out of your body, focusing on the third eye, that is a big chakra. It's that and the heart in terms of astral. You do that for a couple of weeks. If someone were to do that every day for a couple of weeks when they go to sleep, I guarantee them some kind of astral experience. But like people will watch TV instead for a few hours a day. They're not going to do that. If they were to do astral for a few hours a day, then they'd have results within a week. And the people who've done that have had that. And it's often really changed them. So I've gotten to the point in my life now where I don't mind shouting it out loud to people, because I think it's an amazing method of expansion, because it's first-hand experience of something bigger than you, and it's actually really easy.
Well, the cool thing is now it's getting a bit of scientific study
backing.
And backing. So the latest I guess test that the old crazy scientists have been doing these days is they got one of these like renowned monks, like not a low-level monk if they have their different levels, like a really prestigious monk, to go and sit in a room, and they just went, okay, well, we're going to put the probes on you. We want to see what's happening. And in the scientific study, his brain was like a storm of energy. And they went, well,
It's not subtle.
We can't explain this because, and that's all I could say is the hum. It's like you just turning it on. And the amazing thing is, I think when you turn, like say if you were turning your brain on, well, if there's a lot more energy there, I'm assuming that's a lot more energy that you can handle, and different vibrational energy that you can handle to go up and down and experience different realities. And this is the kind of thing is like this is proven. So this he's turned his brain on, and to tell the truth, like, well, in classical science sense, he should be a genius. He should be the biggest business leader in the world, blah, 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 because his brain is amazing. But yet, no, he just wants to sit on a mountain and just look at the scenery.
He's throwing it away.
He's throwing it away.
No,
he could have made the new flying car.
Actually, he's not throwing it away. He's got it all.
Well, that's the thing.
Right. He doesn't need to prove anything.
But I think it's that level of understanding which it's sort of...
It doesn't feed GDP.
What was that?
That's exactly right. Gross domestic product.
Okay.
Doesn't feed the economy. So,
gee, I must be too high. I was like, "What's GDP?" See, there we go. I think I've proven something to myself today. But I think that's the kind of thing. Once you understand what true reality is, you go, "Why do I need to do finance?" Because it just seems like it's a complete waste of time. If you're in that state of complete awareness, why do I need to waste time thinking of numbers? And we'll get straight into some past life regressions. Now, okay, so if I came up to you and I went, okay, what is... Like, I want to go through a past life regression. What would I need to get into? Would I need to learn anything before I do it?
No.
Or
for a past life regression, it basically, you don't even have to believe in it for it to work for you. You put into a deep relaxation and just allow your mind to wander and be creative. And you just it's basically the soul taking over. So the unconscious takes over. You don't need to know anything or have any practice of anything. If you are a good meditator, that's always a plus, but it's not having to have to do. And once you're in that altered state and let your mind go, you just let those pictures happen and those experiences happen. And me as a facilitator, I'll just be working off you as the client on the table, asking you specific questions and perhaps even directing you. But if you don't want to go there, I'll let you go to where you want to go. Because sometimes I'll say, let's move on to a next thing, so no, I want to stay here. I need to experience this now.
So say if I was going through a past life regression and I was going through a traumatic war type scene, is that because I'm trying to like look at that and see if it's going to fix part of myself? Is that why a lot of people have these experiences?
Yeah. Oftentimes when they're having their regression, it's relative to current events in their life at that time. So they might be having something happening at one time, and then say 6 months down the track something else has happened and they'll have a totally different experience. So while you're going through that regression, if you're having a traumatic experience, say a wartime, it might be related to when your dog died, and because it's the emotion that's being experienced rather than the actual picture itself.
That's fascinating. So if like my dog had just died, how is it kind of me just letting go of that experience that I'm reliving through my dog that we use a lot of regressions for?
And all these things, all of our experiences in our lives trigger certain emotions and trapped emotions in ourselves. And so these visions and these experiences that we have, whether it's in a waking life, whether it's in a regression or even a dream state, altered state, it's to delve down into that part of ourselves that's been blocked and it's been pushed down so far that it's preventing us from living a full life right now. And so once you access that and allow it to bubble up and be released, you're no longer ruled by that. And so that emotion no longer has any effect over your day-to-day decisions.
So with a lot of past life regressions, have you seen that a lot of people have similar ones with your experience, or is it very
everything's always
different?
Completely different? Yeah, and I have to sometimes like I have a set I suppose a script if you like, or a very loose guideline if you like, but I'm often on the hop because people take me to weird and wonderful places, and I have to actually bounce off
Because
them.
I
as
was a
said.
unicorn in one past life. I'm down with that. I want to be a unicorn. Could I have been could I have been a mythical creature? Is that a good question, or is that just me being silly?
No, it's a good question. And like people often think, oh, you know, I was this, that, or the other, like a unicorn or a queen, or was I this emperor? You can tell whether it's you making it up, like you're trying to create something, or whether it's actually an emotional or a soul experience. More often than not, if it starts to become a little bit like a movie or a movie script, that I'll pull them back and say, well, okay, look, you know, let's get back into that
probably
deep.
making that one up. It's fantastic. Awesome words. We've had a fantastic delve into the human psyche. I think we're going into places that a lot of people won't talk about, but hopefully they will. So that's what we're here for. We want to start discussions. We want to get people talking about this. Ask your neighbour. Ask your friends. Like, have they experienced this kind of stuff before? And you know, like, give your experiences to them. Like, talk about it. Don't be afraid or think people will judge you, because I think it's fascinating. And hopefully everyone else finds it fascinating too. Now, Greg, where can people get in touch with you?
Yeah, on my website, www.gregdoyleastral.com.
Fantastic. Vicky?
Same for me, my website, www.vickyhaspels.com.au.
Awesome. And Rich, what's your website? Give it a royal plug.
www.richardweinberg.com.
Fantastic. Guys, you've been listening to the Conscious Wisdom Podcast. I'm Kris R. Anderson. And remember that we're on Facebook, YouTube now through Premateria Productions. And we're also on the Late Night Media Network. So if you want to see some other podcasts like Hot Steaming Pod, that's your place to go. Lots of comedy, because that's what I think we need in our lives, comedy. And get ready for a fantastic week. If you want to be a guest, get in touch with us here at the Conscious Wisdom Podcast, and we'll get you on the show. And don't be afraid. We can start some discussions. Thanks, guys, and we'll catch you next week.
Yeah, thanks,
Thank you.
Kris.
Right.
Thanks.